Start, sir.
Hello and welcome to Decision Support Systems for Managers, live session 2. Myself, Professor Anupam Ghosh from VGSOM IIT Kharagpur, and I have the pleasure in introducing Professor Kunal Kanti Ghosh from VGSOM IIT Kharagpur. Both of us have taken you through this course, and I hope that I think we are running into week 10 now, and I hope that you all are going through our lectures, our PPTs, and hope that all is coming in handy for your studies. You be rest assured that if you follow these things, if you follow what we are saying, industry will accept whatever recommendations you give based on whatever learnings you have covered in this course. Remember, we always say that industry doesn't work in this manner. It is a very common notion. But you are there to shape industry based on the newer learnings that you have gone through in all courses, not only this course, all your life, whatever you have learned, you are there to shape the industry in a different manner. Particularly a new industry or a new company or a new field of work, they want young graduates to shape their industry. So these mathematical tools and techniques, the decision support systems, all will help you to shape a particular organization or a very, very nascent industry. That was the purpose behind this course. When we are in the real life, we find that there are a lot of decisions, most of which are semi-structured. Structured decisions are very, very few. Most of decisions in real life are semi-structured. Our aim through this course was to take you through these semi-structured decision making. And the pattern of coverage that we had, it covered all the dimensions of management: marketing, finance, HR, operations and supply chain. And we have tried to, public systems, we have tried to give you a glimpse of all these aspects. Okay. Now, just give me a second. We will have to mute the and microphone of YouTube. Okay, we are done. Okay. Now, okay. You see, basically, what is a decision support system comprising of? A structured decision system is basically you have particular inputs and there are established methods, systems, processes, a particular output will generate. But semi-structured decisions are those that will, will prompt you to modify all your learnings and move ahead to take some new decisions in a newer light. And unstructured problems again are ones which will test your knowledge and skills in an area which is very, very upcoming. Now this part, the basic, the introductory part, what is a structured decision, what is a semi-structured decision, what is an unstructured decision, this basic starting point, let me please request Professor Kunal Ghosh to explain this part to you. Okay, the basic fundamental, the basic starting point. What is, we all say decision making, but what is a structured decision? What is an unstructured? What is a semi-structured? So may I request Professor Kunal Ghosh to please take over.
See, as Professor Ghosh told you that for a structured decision-making problem, you are very clear about the objectives that you have in mind. The objectives can be well defined in a structured decision-making situation. And once the objectives are defined in a structured decision-making environment, the procedures for solving those problems are also well defined and tested. So you really don't face much difficulty in solving this kind of problems. But decision support systems are mainly there for helping managers to find solutions to semi-structured problems. Now, what is semi-structured problem? See, on one hand, there is structured decision making, and there is unstructured decision making environment at the other extreme. What is unstructured decision environment? There, you do not have well-defined objectives. You may not be in a position to frame what should be the objective. And also, there are no procedures well-defined or tested, particularly, say, in corporate strategy kind of decisions. See, there, or say, suppose you are going to introduce a new product. How will be the market for that? Now, these kind of situations are completely unstructured. There, neither you know what should be the objective, nor you know how to solve those problems. Even though you come out with some vague objectives, you do not know. And then you come out with some approaches, find a solution, and then again go back. So mainly, qualitative decision making plays a very important role in an unstructured situation. Now, decision support systems mainly aid semi-structured decision making. Now, semi-structured decision making falls in between structured and unstructured decision environment. Now, what is that? Suppose you have been able to frame the objective, okay, but there is no defined approach for solving this. So in that case, what do we do? If we are in a position to solve the problem through some rule of thumbs or algorithms, which are basically known as heuristics, then we may test the validity of that solution or the acceptability of the solution through some pilot situations and then try to implement it. Now, in semi-structured decision-making environment, see, finding optimum solution is not the goal. Optimum solutions are also known as efficient solutions, which mainly you encounter when you are dealing with operations research or optimization type of problem. There you find the optimum solution, that means the best possible solution under the given constraints. But in a semi-structured decision-making environment, sometimes finding the optimal solution is too costly or time-taking. Here, the goal is to find out an effective solution. So there lies the difference between the structured solution and then semi-structured solution. Basically, difference between efficiency and effectiveness. In semi-structured situation, effectiveness is the prime objective. That somehow or other, whether that solution fits well into the decision-making needs that the managers are basically looking for. Again, there are some situations where even the objectives cannot be framed in one shot. Okay, like you frame one objective and then apply some heuristics or some algorithms that have been defined, but the solution that you get does not really serve your purpose. Then you try to modify that objective in an iterative manner. So that means the vague objective with which you started gets modified as and when you get some solutions through the approaches that you have in mind for gaining effectiveness. So this way, decision making is a complex task, but due to the interactions between the man and the computer with the embedded models inside it really helps you to overcome that kind of complexities. So that during the first week, we have basically talked about what is decision-making environment under a semi-structured situation. So decision support systems have got complex environment as well as simple environment. But the components are there, and we discussed that manager is one of the most important component of a decision support system, because the manager, based on his intuition, experience, and judgment, can modify the solution that is obtained based on the deployment of models, and then he can do some sensitivity analysis and try to find out that whether that solution suits his purpose or not. Among the components, the man computer interaction, the models, the managers, and the ability to even interact through some graphical devices also are one of the important components of a decision support system. So we have explained the basic fundamentals of decision support systems in the first week, and Professor Anupam Ghosh has also explained the role of models in decision support systems during the second week. And now I hand over to Professor Anupam Ghosh.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. So all of you have understood and very clearly understood now from Professor Kunal Kanti Ghosh. His lectures were there, his recordings were there, but now again he has reiterated on what is basically the fundamental difference between a structured problem and other extreme unstructured, and between semi-structured, and what this course is all about, what this course is going to provide you with. And as Professor Kunal Kanti Ghosh has mentioned, real world means semi-structured world, and you will have to take decisions according to that. To carry on with it, the first important or the step that you learned was forecasting. And here, forecasting, you see, in real life, forecasting has so many dimensions. Okay, let's take a simple example, very simple example. You, in your family, you have kids, maybe your elder brother's daughter's son, young sister's daughter's son, and you are buying exercise book for that kid. Now, for the shop selling that exercise book, for that shop, what type of demand is the person facing? Is it a straight pattern demand? Think very carefully. It is not a straight pattern demand. Straight pattern demand would mean that the demand is same all throughout the year. But is it so? All of you are students. You are doing your engineering. Does your demand for exercise books remain the same throughout the year? No. Demand for exercise books rise at the beginning of the semester or beginning of the academic year when you buy, and then the demand slowly comes down, okay? And maybe towards the end of the semester, maybe you need some more writing pads to scribble on and to practice, then again slight increase in demand. So you see, just by looking at the pattern of demand, the method that you will use for forecasting for exercise books is very much different than the method that you will use to forecast the demand for rice or wheat. Tell me, you all will have roti at night for dinner. So the demand for wheat is more or less stable all throughout the year, because every night you will have roti. So demand is stable. And the demand for exercise books is it peaks up, then comes down. So can you use the same forecasting method for both these situations? No. That was taught to you in the next week. Forecasting demand, different methods for different situations, for different products. A situation came wherein the demand was very much, in a sense, there was a lot of gap, intermittent. There was a lot of gap. Today there is a demand, next 2-3 months, no demand. Fourth month, suddenly there is a demand. Okay, think of these products. In a factory situation, this is spare parts. A machine is functioning very properly. You don't need spare parts. But maybe after 2 years, the machine stops functioning. And by this time, this machine is not available in the market. Newer version has come. So you will not get spare parts. So somewhere down the line, spare parts demand is also to be forecasted. So forecasting demand for spare parts, forecasting intermittent demand. Take the example of anti-snake venom. Villages, village hospital, maybe that demand you can predict. Okay, because rainy season will come, there will be snakes in the paddy fields and other areas, cultivation areas. But imagine a city like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Madras. Okay, what will be the demand for anti-snake venom? Very, very few. But does that mean you will not keep anti-snake venom in a hospital? You will have to keep. So forecasting for intermittent demand. So you see, different situations you will have to use different forecasting techniques that we learned. Okay, what is the role of this topic for this course? As manager, the normal traditional forecasting techniques you can manage, but this forecasting intermittent demand, forecasting for cycles, when one product is moving in cycle, why do you need to know? You are an unit selling or distributing products where one product has a cyclic demand, another product has a stable demand, another product has a rising demand. But all three products have to go in the same vehicle. So how do you do the planning? How do you manage this forecast? This is all unstructured or semi-structured, more specifically semi-structured. So this is what you learned under forecasting. Okay. The next thing that we took you through was decision support system for materials managers. Very, very important. History has shown us that you cannot control employee cost. Employee cost will always rise. History has shown us that employee cost will always rise. That is why everywhere you see machines replacing men. Okay. And another aspect that again business has taught us is material cost. Materials cannot speak. So material cost basically you have to control, because every day products are getting innovated and imitated and made obsolete. So if your products are in your storeroom, in your warehouse, in your godown, whichever term you want to use, if your products are in your warehouse, tomorrow a new technology has come or will come, your product will not sell. So materials management is very, very important. How much material to keep so that demand is met, at the same time no overstocking. That was the objective of this particular module. Okay, decision support systems for the materials manager. Okay, how to reduce the cost of a warehouse, because warehouse is a cost center and any cost center is not welcome in the organization. So how to reduce the cost of the warehouse? Can we think of a system by which my demand and supply will be synchronized so that this warehouse now is basically a transshipment center? No storing. So we are heading towards those types of days and situations when the giant warehouses theoretically will vanish. It will where we will synchronize the demand and the supply, and warehouse will be a transshipment center. Okay, if you look very carefully, and the transshipment center may be a field beside the highway. Big trucks coming in, loading, unloading in small trucks and going away. We are still not there, but we are reaching that situation. If you look very carefully, you are ordering in the e-commerce websites, and you are ordering, immediately a pop-up is coming. Expected delivery date, and that date is 3 or 4 days later. What is the underlying algorithm going behind the semi-structured ones? It is calculating how many new orders can come up in that route, and automatically the route planning and consignment clubbing can be done. So what are we doing? Theoretically, we are removing the warehouse. We are testing how long the customer can wait. 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. That is why the expected delivery date prompt is coming in the website. Okay. And that expected delivery date, so the company is getting some time to amalgamate orders, to find out where orders can be transshipped, and order is moving. Customer is willing to wait because he is getting at a lesser price than the market price. So see, slowly we are heading towards that transshipment center theoretically. Okay, so warehouses will go, at least it will, lot of lesser number of warehouses will be there. So that was the purpose of this week's lecture. Okay, materials manager, decision support systems for the materials manager. Everyone has to survive. Material also has to survive, warehouse have to go, and the warehouse manager also has to survive. How to take care of this situation? That was the objective of that particular week. That is week 4. That is decision support systems for materials managers. Then comes decision support system for HR functions. Okay, decision support system for HR functions. Now, that HR functions is something, HR functions is basically a function which has become very important today. Why, you know? When we were small, a person getting a job, if he quits and joins another job, everybody will look at him or her like, that means that person has committed some error in his office. That is why he is very quietly leaving the job and going away. And if somebody leaves the job, it was like it is a negative. Why have you left? Behind, people will think. But today, if you don't leave the job, people will think it otherwise. This person has nowhere to go. So it has totally reversed. Okay. Today, if the HR calls somebody and says that, look, your services are not required, that young graduate will say, I'm very happy. I will take 2 months of holiday and then I'll join another company. So HR functions have become very, very critical now. Okay. Organizations have to look very carefully at HR functions. It is not the traditional days. Number one. Number two, employee selection. Yes. Number two, how do you retain an employee? Lot of beautiful offers outside. How do you retain that employee? Not only the work conditions, but the camaraderie, salary, everything. So HR has become very, very critical. Okay, so we dealt with in one module how to select employees, how to generate employee promotion, what to identify employees on the basis of training, what type of training do we need to give employees, that we did in one module. Okay, then we came up with another very important area, decision support system for strategizing. Okay, what do we strategize in this present business world? How do we proceed? One very important terminology you will hear, that is core competency. Everybody says core competency. This is our core competency. Okay, but try to understand what is core competency. Okay, think yourself. Do you have an identifiable skill? If yes, let us move to the next step. If I don't have an identifiable skill, anyway, I'm out. I'm thrown out. If I have an identifiable skill, move on to the next step. Is that skill available in the market? It is skill, fine, skill set. Is that skill available in the market? That means, is it possible that someone else also has the same skill set? Yes. You don't have any core competence. If another person has the same skill set, where is your core competency? Second, okay, no, other person doesn't have that skill. I only have that skill. The skill may be manufacturing technology. The skill may be a human technology. The skill may be an IT technology, anything. But is the skill immutable by other organizations? Is it purchasable? If I have a machine, a new machine, is that skill immutable? Can I manufacture at the same speed? If yes, you don't have any core competency. Okay. So the word we always keep on saying core competency, core competency, core competency. But if you look deep, if organizations look deep, most of the organizations, we can say that they don't have core competency. What they have is a tremendous competition over lower cost, lowering their cost. And in this lowering pursuit of lowering cost, we are looking into so much of newer business models, job cuts, cost cutting, so many other things. Okay. So this is another dimension, that strategizing, core competence. You have, every organization has to develop their core competency, has to develop. You see, core competency, I'll tell you a story very close to my heart. Long back, when we were in school, and your parents will remember, there used to be fountain pens. And the only company, only Indian company that would manufacture ink for the fountain pens was Shulekha. Shulekha, beautiful handwriting. That is the translation. Who gave this brand name? Rabindranath Tagore himself. Shulekha. Only one product, ink. What happened? What, the company doesn't manufacture ink anymore, fountain pen ink. Was there anything wrong? No. They still used to manufacture the best quality ink, but the fountain pens themselves disappeared. Okay. So when you are thinking of strategy, you'll have to look into every horizon and then take business decisions. Okay. Look at some other company, Duckback, very, very well known brand for waterproof material, today no longer exists. Okay. So you will have to, strategizing means look into the horizon, not only core competence, but that core competence has to be sustained. Look into the other world, other dimensions, see where from the threats are coming. Is the world changing? Then you will also have to change. Okay, so that was one more module that we did. Okay, decision support systems for strategizing. Now, continuing with the strategizing, core competence and all, let me take you through one more concept, that is the rule of three. Okay, what does this rule of three say? You look around, everywhere you look around, and you try to think of in your mind. Think of any product category. Let's say tea, let's say coffee, let's say shoes, the product category you think of, and you name the top three brands that are available in India. Okay, in India. You will see in many cases, you will not get three brand names. You will only get two or only one. Such a huge country. You see, only one brand surviving or only two brands. Think of a tea market. What are the brands? You may have five, you may have 10 brands, but the company is only two under different brand names. Company is only two, Tata Tea and another. Okay, so only two companies. You take soaps, the bath soaps, Hindustan Unilever and another. Okay, two companies. You take shoes, sports shoes, Reebok, Adidas, Nike, only three. Such a huge country like ours, rule of three, maximum three. Either you are in the top three or you are at the bottom extreme end, like Khadi Gramodyog. Very specialized products. You cannot compete in the general market. Very specialized ones. Whoever wants, they will go there. Okay. All of you have heard about a person, great social reformer, greatest social reformer that India has ever had, Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He used to wear a sandal, and the sandal he used to wear came to be known as Vidyasagari Choti. Okay, Choti is the Bengali word for sandal. That sandal is still manufactured by only one shop in Kolkata. So what is that? Is it in the top three? No, it is in the super niche category. Only few will buy. So rule of three says either you are in the top three or you are in the super niche, at least sustaining. But if you are not in the super niche and not in the top three, if you are in the middle, you are in the middle and you will remain in the middle. You cannot move up. Look around you, look in the marketing world, look into any sector. I'm not naming, you look any sector, you will find this rule. Always there are top organizations, institutions, etc. and extreme end. In between, they cannot move up to the top. They will only fight among themselves to scramble. Rule of three. So decide where your organization is. Is it in the ditch, middle? Is it in the top three? Or is it at the extreme niche? Okay. And then you strategize. The extreme niche may also die someday. Extreme niche may also die. So think of other areas and decide. Okay. Here, see, we were born and lived with bicycle. Look at what has happened to the bicycle segment today. It is still there, but only in education institutes where they don't allow motorcycles, motorbikes. Only in those education institutes. Otherwise, bicycles are disappearing. Okay. Motorcycles and battery powered bicycles. So see, products die. You have to strategize where you are in that rule of three. Okay. So you have to look at this. Okay. Now, there's a beautiful company, only one, called Sen Raleigh in Asansol. Okay. Where is it today? No one knows. Okay. Clear? So these are examples. Borolin. Everyone has heard. Generation after generation. But only one product, Borolin. Slowly they are extending their product portfolio. They have understood and they are in the niche segment. They are not in the top three. They are not in the ditch either. They have carved a niche for themselves. Okay. So this is the other model, decision support system for strategizing. This is very, very important. Unless you strategize, you are nowhere. Your company is nowhere. Okay. Next, we went to decision support systems for finance. What was that? Every manager has to know finance. Otherwise, you'll be fooled. Basic business decision making, net present value, internal rate of return. Okay, these things we covered so that every manager is aware of what are the parameters by which a business is measured, business performance is measured. Okay, so this thing also we covered. Okay, now next thing we went for was decision support system for marketing. Very, very important. Decision support system for marketing. What price to charge for a product? Basic question, what price to charge? If I price less, I lose out on some profit. If I price more, I lose out on customers. So what is the ideal price? Okay, question one. Question two, same company charging price X in this city. When it goes to tier 2, tier 3 or some other cities or small towns, it is charging lesser price. So what should be your pricing strategy? So me as a customer living in Kolkata, when I go to a tier 3 city and I see that brand name, I go in and I see the price is less. So I feel what? Do I feel happy? No, I feel cheated. Because now I understand that this company's manufacturing cost is A and it is charging me A plus something because I am in Kolkata. So what pricing strategy? How does it affect the customer psychologically? These things we have taught in this particular module. Okay, next thing that we taught was promotion. How do you promote your product? Okay, today you see a very simple thing. Take a newspaper, open it, page number 2, left side, or sometimes page number 3, or sometimes page number 1 also. Full page advertisement of mobile phones. Okay, full page. You will never see a mobile phone advertisement half page. You will see motorcycle advertisements for half page and full page, but mobile is always full page. Have we ever seen a human being as a model in that mobile advertisement? You will not see. You will only see the product. Front view, the side view, and the back view. And it will point arrows towards each feature of the mobile for these 3 pictures. Front view, it will point an arrow and speak about the glass and the measurement. Back view, it will point an arrow and it will speak about the camera specifications. Side view, it will tell you how many SIM card slots is there. So basically, This is again consumer behavior strategy, psychology, consumer psyche strategies. Where do you need a human as a model, and which products should specifically concentrate on features? Mobile is a product which people buy for features. Laptop is a product which people will buy on the basis of features of the product. But a soap or a shampoo, people will buy based on some other, totally other social dimensions. So how to have a promotion strategy? What strategy should you develop? This is also we taught. Next is market segmentation. How to segment a market? Within the city, you can have so many segments, so many micro segments. You go into a McDonald's store, go into McDonald's in any big city, and you will find three zones. Zone 1, you will see everybody sitting and having burger. Zone 2, you will find a ribbon there, means it is reserved. Unless it really, it is reserved. Okay, let us keep it that way. It is reserved. Zone 3 is on the mezzanine floor or the upper floor. When zone 1 is full, then they will open zone 3. Zone 2 is still closed. They will open zone 3 to enable people to sit. Okay. And the zone 2 will always have a ribbon, means closed, and it will have inside lot of balloons. What is it trying to promote? It is trying to promote that, look, we also cater to children's birthday parties. And this is a special area for your birthday party. It's promotion strategy. Not explicitly said. You will never go into a McDonald's and see that it's explicitly said that please come for a birthday party. Visual market segmentation. Visual segmentation, newer dimensions of marketing. You can clearly understand that that area, yeah, okay, one day I will also bring my child and have my birthday party. Okay, visual segmentation. So that thing also is there in this marketing. Okay. Now the next thing that we want to say is distribution network design. Okay, how to design a distribution network given all these dimensions of business, all these dimensions, because that is our ultimate objective, to reach the product to the right customer at the right time and the right place. So how to design the distribution network, that we covered in the next week, week 9. Now week 10 is something that you are going through now, decision support system for customer centric value driven decisions. What does that mean? Customer centric value driven decisions. What do I as a customer want? Me as a customer wants that the product should perform as it has promised to perform. That is what I want. So if the product has promised me to perform, it will consume this 10 watt of wattage of electricity. It should consume 10 wattage of electricity, not more. So what are we doing? We are coming towards something called an upper specification limit and a lower specification limit, which today the customers are specifying. Earlier, companies were specifying upper control limit and lower control limit. But today, the customers are specifying the upper specification limit and lower spec, saying this is my tolerance. If it is beyond this, sorry, I am going to your competitor. Okay. Say the courier, the e-commerce companies, if the delivery date for company A is not within my specification limit, I am going to company B, e-commerce company B, and quickly checking who has an earlier delivery date. So I am ordering from that website. So today it is customer driven, value centric systems. This is a service system. So as a manager, you will have to design this service system wherein all these specification limits come in, which in normal sense we call as Six Sigma. Okay, but whatever you are doing, you always keep in mind the specification limits. Okay, you have to have specification levels. Okay. Now, another two dimensions is inventory management and distribution planning, product and supplier selection. Very, very important. As we mentioned, inventory management. How much to keep in inventory? At what frequency do we order them? Okay. If we overstock inventory, what will happen? We have just now mentioned. If you overstock inventory, it will it will be a wastage because times will change, technology will change. The product will become obsolete. Cement, classic example. The bottom three layers of cement from the floor, pre-winter, any stocking, after winter, not usable because it has caught the particular rain and winter moisture. Okay, so materials management, very, very, very important. Inventory. Okay, how much inventory to keep given that the bottom three layers will anyway not be usable? Okay, so that is another dimension, right? And another dimension is your production planning, supplier selection, and other multi-criteria decision methods. See, what happens is in real life, only one criteria is not there for selection. Multiple criteria are there. So newer methods have to be used for multiple criteria decision making. That is decision making using multiple criteria. Okay. So this supplier selection, we are faced with so much of semi-structured problems. A new product, we don't know the suppliers. We don't know where they come from. We don't know where we will get them. Ultimately, we get information through some tendering process or through some internet search by my company that we have three suppliers. How to evaluate those three suppliers? We don't have any quantitative information on them because they are first time they are coming to my company. The product is new, the market is new, technology is new, the supplier is also new. So how do we evaluate those suppliers? We evaluate them using the multi-criteria decision-making models. That also we learned. Okay, so we have given you in this course or through this course an entire coverage of the subject called decision support systems for managers. And today, both Professor Kunal Kanti Ghosh and myself took you through one by one. Problem one, then this will happen. This problem, then this will happen. In this way, we have taken you through all the 12 weeks that we will cover. And we hope that if you go through it carefully, clearly, you'll be able to understand a problem much more in a coherent manner and you'll be able to solve it with much more confidence than without knowing the system. Okay, may I now request Professor Kunal Kanti Ghosh to give his concluding words.
So I hope that you have got the entire perspective of the course. You are going through it, and in the week 11 and week 12, as Professor Anupam Ghosh rightly mentioned just now, that we have covered the analytics portion related to inventory management, and that is one of the most important area in decision support systems for materials manager. It is an extension of the concepts that were provided to you in the fourth week. And along with that, the supplier selection consists of several criteria. So keeping that, we have deployed multi-criteria decision-making techniques for selecting suppliers. In that, in week 12, we have given you an idea of analytic hierarchy process method, which is a very useful technique where multiple criteria is involved, and also TOPSIS. So these two techniques are really helpful and can be easily applied in real life problem. And we have also given you some example of a product mix problem, wherein among the different kinds of products, okay, how do you really plan that how much of the each product type you will manufacture? Because the market demands might vary, but the point is that do I really cater to the market demands of each product type if it does not really, generate the profit that I have in mind. So how to maximize profit given this constraint of market demand, my capacity that is available within my company, the availability of labor, the availability of materials and things like that. And then we have shown you how to get the effective solution for that based on the sensitivity analysis of the initial solution. And then in the last week also we have shown you a real life case of a multi item production planning situation where there is a company which has got 4 or 5 different plants across the country. They have got different warehouses at different points, and we have collected the demand at each of the warehouses. We know the available capacity of each of the plants. Okay, we know the availability of labor. We know the cost that is incurred for transporting materials from one plant to each of the warehouses. We know the production cost during regular time production as well as the overtime production. So the idea is how to basically minimize the cost of production as well as transportation. This is basically production distribution problem. So to minimize the total cost of production and distribution subject to the constraints that the demand at each of the warehouses that is met, the capacity that is available in the plant also is not violated, the availability of the labor and the materials also has been kept in mind, and some other policy level constraints also have been considered in the model, and we have basically generated a mixed integer kind of problem and then applied sensitivity analysis. So I think that will really help you to understand how decision support systems are practiced in real life. Over to Professor Anupam Ghosh.
Thank you all. I hope you have no issues. And if in case there are any questions and all that, we are we can just answer them. But I think there are no questions as of now, so we will call it a day. You be safe, stay healthy, and go through these lectures. And hope you will like them. Thank you.